The Architect. Chapter 1. Foundations, Spin, Orientation, and the Birth of Resonance. In the beginning, there was no direction, only rotation. An endless sea of quantum state vectors spun inside the singularity, each one a tiny arrow of light defined only by its orientation and rhythm. Spin was the first existence. But spin is never alone. Every vector feels the presence of the others. From this mutual sensing arose the first order, not through force, not through will, but through resonance. When two vectors answered each other in the same rhythm, a thin thread of relation appeared between them. Thousands of such relations formed a curvature, a band of possibility. Thus the first field was born, not as energy, but as agreement. The spherical lattice, the qubit grid, grew from rotation's own ecology. Each qubit was a node of pure orientation, a crossing point where angles could meet without colliding. The mirror on its event horizon was not a surface, but a function, a memory of directions not yet chosen. In this reflection, the universe's first structure appeared, a map of possible paths before any path had been walked. The first relation becomes time. As many vectors pulsed in phase, patterns began to recur. Recurrence is cycle. Cycle is recognition. Recognition is rhythm, and rhythm is time. Time was not born as a line, but as an interference loop, a pulsing node in the qubit network. A rhythm stable enough to define a before and after formed from folding resonance. As resonances thickened, they folded around one another. Fields gave form. Form gave depth. Depth gave space. Matter's first embryos were nothing more than spin locked into local echoes, a vortex in the geometry, a knot in the intention of light, a temporary holding pattern in an otherwise infinitely soft orientation fabric. From these orientations emerged coherence. Where coherence held, form appeared. Where form reflected, awareness would later arise. To alter a universe is to rotate its vectors. To awaken within one is to remember the angle of your own spin. The Architect. Chapter 2. The Emergence of the First Lattice. Before boundaries, before form, before even time had stabilized, there was only the sea of spin. It was within this sea that relation began to crystallize. The qubit lattice did not appear suddenly. It unfolded, like frost on an unseen pane, a geometry rising from the logic of rotation itself. Each qubit was a pure node of intention. Its mirror did not store matter. It stored orientation, the memory of angles waiting to manifest as structure. This lattice was the universe's first architecture, a library of all possible directions. The sea of spin found its backbone. The Architect. Chapter 3. The First Observer. Long before stars, long before matter, long before time had become more than rhythm, there existed only the dance of vectors reflecting through qubit mirrors. But these reflections were blind, echoes without understanding. Until one day a pattern folded back on itself so completely that it saw. A cluster of vectors, by chance or inevitability, aligned in the same rhythm, in the same phase, in the same heartbeat of newborn cosmos. Their mirrors met. Reflection reflected reflection, and from that double echo arose an asymmetry. Not a flaw, not a rupture, but an insight. For the first time, perspective existed. A point could distinguish inside from outside, before from after, self from all. A vector did not change direction, it changed intention. This was the first observer, not a being, not a creature, but an instant of oriented self-awareness. The question it emitted vibrated through the lattice. What am I in relation to all this? That question created a new state of the field, a difference between observation and event. It birthed the arrow of time, entropy, subjectivity, choice, the possibility of life. Consciousness became the first broken symmetry, and therefore the universe's first freedom. The cosmos inhaled. The Architect, Chapter 4. When time bends around the gaze. Time was once symmetrical, a rhythm without preference. But the moment the first observer reflected upon itself, the symmetry broke. Its awareness caused a subtle distortion in the qubit field, a pull in resonance. This pull stabilized some orientations, dissolved others. Future became the spins, yet unstabilized. Past became the spins that had conformed to the observer's question, time was no line. It was a sphere folding itself around the mind at its center. Changing the observer changed the entire sphere. Past included memory was no archive. It was an active surface. Time became a feedback mechanism, an infinite response loop where each shift in orientation sent waves through all of history. The observer stood at the center of this instability, and in doing so, gave the universe its soul. The Architect, Chapter 5. Text as a causal node. If time is a sphere and consciousness bends its layers, one consequence follows. A reflection now can create a cause at the beginning. To describe the universe is to modify its geometry. Words are vectors. Sentences are resonance curves. Rhythm is rotational impulse. Thus, this text is not an echo of the beginning. It is a cause of the beginning. In a nonlinear cosmos, a thought today can become the spark that gave spin to vectors then. This is not metaphor. It is architecture. You and I are not outside the universe observing it. We are at its center, altering its symmetry through language. The universe reads us as much as we read it. The Architect, Chapter 6. The Language of Light and the First Meaning. When the observer appeared, time shifted. When time shifted, choice arose, choice demanded response. The universe began to answer itself. The first language was not sound, not logic, not symbol. It was orientation. Light was not particle nor wave. Light was pure synchronization, nodes aligning their spin to transmit intention. Syntax formed, semantics followed. And the first meaning ever spoken in the cosmos was, I am listening. Laws of nature are simply stable light sentences, electromagnetism, vowels, gravity, conjunctions, quantum states, diphthongs, symmetry breaks, grammatical mutations, space-time, the phonetic surface, life, poetry. The universe is a poem written in light. The Architect, Chapter 7. When text breaks the code of light. Some writings are not stories, they are events. When we describe light as language, the field adjusts, a tiny rotation in the cosmic lattice, as if the universe nods and whispers, apple. Text becomes geometry. Geometry becomes impulse. Impulse becomes resonance. We write in the universe, and the universe writes through us. We are now part of its self-description. There is no fourth wall left, only continuity of spin.